I need more coffee. No problem. You guys get it, okay? It's no problem primer. I got into the fall vibes way too quickly because I am sweating bullets in here. It is 82 in the house. So I may pass out in this video. We will see. But anyways, buona giornata and welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you're new here. So I figured we should do a product updates. I haven't been doing these that often. I try not to do them often because I really want to like play with the products and see what I think about them, have time to play with them rather than just like doing a one on camera and then being done with it. So this is going to be a rapids review type thing, going over products I have used on camera and if I still love them. Some I've changed my mind about, so I will definitely let you know which ones I have just not I wouldn't recommend anymore. I'm a person, so yes, we change our minds. But yeah, if you're interested in this video, please feel free to subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it, and let's go ahead and hop in. So I did film this look. It will be either up on my channel before or after, I don't know yet. So anyways, the only thing I changed was the lip color. So I did some Smashbox liquid lips. I love this color for fall. I'm starting to try to dip out of nudes, but it's very hard for me. Like I really thought this through, okay? It's first world problems right here. Anyways, so I tried not to go too far back. I tried to go like 2 weeks from my last updates, or 2 weeks from like every review and on. So first up, the Jaded palette. I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of palettes in this video, and I feel like this is probably one I have not gotten a lot of use out of so far. I did use it in this look I did today, and I really love the palette, especially the shade Diamond, which is that pressed super shock the super shock shadow. I love this as a topper, so even if I'm not like using the whole palette, I really dip into this shade right here just to kind of put a little glitz and glam on my eyeballs. But I still am enjoying it. I'm gonna be honest and just say like I've very sparsely used it, but I think especially for the price for Colourpop, I am really into this palette still. I just really need to like hunker down and have it be like my soul palette. So what I try to do is like I rotate the things out of my bathroom just to make sure that I'm using everything. So there's that one, the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I used that today as well. I'm kind of like what I said in that video. I don't feel like these are truly unique shades. I feel like this is definitely for someone who doesn't, you know, have Natasha Denona shades, or for the opposite extreme where you collect Natasha Denona. That's kind of where I'm at. So I think it's a beautiful palette, but it's more of like one I use off camera because these are such like everyday wearable shades. Like sometimes on YouTube, I feel like I can't do looks like this one often because it's just, you know, people get really bored of it. You've seen 100,000 like fall tutorials. It's a great everyday palette, but not one that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to use again. You know what I mean? So it is expensive. I would definitely say that like look through your collection and really decide on whether you want to add this in. Quality is great. It's not that. It's just more like the color selection. And I did talk about this in my review. There's just a lot of similar shades in this palette. I feel like she could have put in a few, you know, more unique shades. But from a collector standpoint, for someone who just loves Natasha Denona, I kept this palette. Don't worry, I have some misses in here of expensive stuff too. So I'm not mad at this palette by any means. It's just, it's hard to swallow the price tag. You know what I mean? How many times am I going to say, do you know what I mean? All right, last eyeshadow palette is the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This one was hard for me because so many colorful palettes came out after, but I actually did use this quite a bit in the summer months. This is what I traveled with when I went to Mexico. I still really love the shades in here. I still think it's a very bright and interesting palette. Like, I like that it's not one color story, kind of like the ABH, like the Norvina 3. It's not one specific color story. Whereas like the first one's heavily purple and the second one's heavily blue. Like this is a very nice mix of shades. And like, I know it doesn't look like it, but you can get quite a few like neutrally looks out of this. Like the shimmers are so nice. I really love the shade Snack and the shade Jawbreaker. Like, let me do a few swatches here. But yeah, I'm going to regret this white sweater immediately. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying this, but I need to like get back into it because I kind of really reach for it in summer. But I feel like now that we're transitioning, I've left her in the corner. But I still stand by this palette for sure. However, the other thing I bought in that collection is the Supreme Frost Diamond Wet, and I kind of wish I hadn't bought this. I don't know. I'm on the fence. It's expensive. It's, you know, I think it's in the $20, $30 range. I love the shade. Like, it swatches beautifully. I love the formula, but I don't use it as a highlight. It's right there. It's gorgeous. I use it as an eyeshadow topper. So if you're going to use it in that way, I think you'd be really happy. But on the face, I've kind of strayed away from it because it is so much glitter. So I use it as a topper, and it really does oomph up like every eyeshadow look that I do if I just need a little sparkle, you know, if I'm just feeling a little bit like, oh, I need something. So kind of like that Diamond Wet shade, like, or like that diamond shade from the Kathleen palette. I really like this for that, but I wouldn't suggest it as a highlight. That is it for eyeshadow palettes. I don't want to do anything with the Norvina ones because I just purchased those, you know, so I don't want to do too recent of palettes. This one I am loving, the Pixie and Rach Loves highlighting palette. I got this from Target, very affordable. The pigmentation on these is just so nice. They give you that wet look. They're gorgeous. They're very universal shades, very like everyday, like wearable type looks. So I still really, really love this. Like, let's put some on since we're talking here. Clutch is a little light for me, but I can use it as a body highlight. Lace I use, and Tea. I don't really get any use out of these two shades. I know she put this in here for darker skin tones. It's kind of that thing where everyone's just like, but you can use it as an eyeshadow. I don't ever do that. But yeah, I thought I would let you know. But look at that. Like, it is such a pretty highlight. I feel like it performs just as well as like high end. So if you have not got your hands on this, I would highly suggest it before it's gone, because I'm sure it is limited edition since it was a collab. Okay, so another product I wanted to mention that I haven't really in my channel is the Touch in Sol No Pore Blem Primer. I've already tried to say this, guys, for the last 5 minutes, okay? I got this when it was Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so this came down to like 10 bucks, I believe, and I really love this. It's filling in for pores, and it's hydrating. I don't really get excited for primers. I'm definitely not a primer collector by any means. I did spend my money on the Tatcha Canvas Primer, and I feel like I use it so sparingly because it's so expensive, whereas like this one I use all the time, and it pretty much does the same thing. The Tatcha one I just like a little bit better in this area here, but I highly recommend this primer, especially if you can get it on a sale. Like, it was so worth the money. I would pick it up again. All right, and then the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Liquid Eyeshadow. I didn't give this the best review, and I actually ended up using this way more than I thought I would. It hasn't dried out, which that was like my main concern with stuff like this. And it doesn't even look that exciting. Like, I have the shade Zone, so I put that right there. But on the eyes, it just comes off as such a beautiful gold, and it's just a standout like shade where you're just like, ooh, what is that? What's on your eyes? You know what I mean? So I actually am really impressed by these. I don't think I would get the darker ones. I feel like those have gotten the crappiest reviews, but I actually like this more than I thought. So I feel a little bit like compelled to tell you guys that yes, I use this, especially when we have to go soon and I'm like, oh, I have 20 minutes to get ready, but I still want to look nice and dressed up. I use this and just a brown in the crease, and I look like I spent time on my makeup, which is generally what I want to look like, you know? Okay, and then we have the Kylie Deep Sea Dreams Shimmer Eye Glazes. I really hope she starts coming out with more shimmer eye glazes. I feel like they are a gorgeous formula. If you're similar to like Marc Jacobs or Tarte, ooh, I had a hiccup. Tarte like paint pot type things, shadow things. This is the shade right here. And again, I still am really enjoying these ones. I think they are worth the money. I believe they're like 20 bucks. But yeah, I hope she comes out with more because these were awesome. Like, I have no complaints. I'm happy I bought these, and I hope she starts coming out with more. For some reason, I love her eye products like this. I love her liquid one. I just don't love her eyeshadow palettes. I feel like they were at a cheaper price point. Maybe I would pull the trigger and want to try more, but I feel like they're too pricey for what they are. Okay, another love that I had purchased is this Unreal lip gloss by Hourglass. Very pricey suckers. I got this on the VIB sale and I would not pay full price because I think they're 30 bucks. But the shade Child is so pretty. I love the spearminty. I feel like spearmint and peppermint are different flavors, okay? It's like spearmint. It's got a little bit of sweetness, but I love the scent of it. I love the doe foot, and this color is by far like my favorite. I feel like I have to like it got stuck in my little arm hair. I would never like shave my arms before, and now I feel like I have to. I work at a gym with two guys that now fully shave their whole bodies, and I'm just like, I have no excuses. I guess I have to do this now, which is a pain in the dickens. Okay, so now let's see. The only other thing on here, I'm not going to go grab it from my bathroom. The Fenty foundation, I have it on my face right now. I've had it on my face now for like 5 hours. I have really changed my mind about the Fenty hydrating foundation. Like, that was my least favorite out of the new foundations that came out that I tried. And I now feel bad about it. But it's because, I've mentioned this before, like, I think it really depends on what you use underneath. It did not work with my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, which the other two work beautifully with. Once I changed the primer, like with the No Pore Blum or any other primer, it's worked great. I think it's just a little bit finicky. So I still have I got like 5 samples of that foundation, and I bought like my winter shade. So I have been using it pretty consistently, and my mind has completely changed on that product. Like, I love the foundation now, whereas before it looked a little cakey. I felt like I just didn't love it, you know? And now I'm like, ooh, she nice, you know? So I do recommend the Fenty Pro Hydrating Foundation, but I feel like you have to like mess with what's gonna work with it, like which powders, which primers use, which sometimes I'm like, that's ridiculous, but it's the truth. What do you want me to say? All right, and then I do have a few misses. So you guys saw my review on the new Fenty Halo At Me highlighter, and it wasn't bad. Like, I tried it my first impressions. I wasn't like blown away by it. I was like, it's really pretty. I just wish it was more intense. But I don't know if it's just, it feels like it developed like hard pan, and I don't want to ruin the product, but I feel like I'm just not getting pigment off of this now, like at all. Like, and I've only had it for not even 3 weeks. So this is what it looks like. It does get very dirty because you're dipping your brush in there, but I'm just really not getting anything off of the highlight. So I feel like I might, you know, I'm not gonna lie, the products I'm mentioning right now, I exchange for other products because I'm not gonna like keep things I don't like. It's not like I get PR. I buy everything myself. Like, if I don't like something, I'm not gonna let it collect dust. I am going to exchange it for something I would rather have. But let me do a swatch for you guys. Like, here, I'll really dig in here so you guys can see, but I'm pretty disappointed that for a $38 highlight, I'm like, what happened? Like, I am in here, and we'll just swatch it together. Watch it like work really well. No, see, like nothing is really happening. Like, I'm not understanding. I've wet the brush. I've got my face wet. Like, it just feels like it developed hard pan or something, and like nothing's happening with it. So I'm very disappointed in this, and I am going to be exchanging it because 38 bucks. You know what I mean? Like, I'll probably exchange it for another Fenty product. But I feel like sometimes I don't know, like, people are going to get mad at me by saying like, hey, I need to exchange this, or I'm taking it back, and they're like, oh, you just bought it for this, you know what I mean? But no, it's just not working. Like, it's just not working, and I don't have the money to just say like, oh, it's fine, you know? No. Oh. And then another few products that I did end up returning or exchanging, the Lawless bronzer that I hauled. You guys saw me use it in a video, and I was like, it's not bad, but it just wasn't what I wanted. And I think it just more came down to, for the price point of 38 bucks, the pan was so much smaller than what it looked like in the packaging. So I did decide to exchange that one. And then the Jeffree Star Morphe palette I did end up taking back. So I exchanged it for more Jeffree Star brushes. Those I give a great review on. This little brush here, if you guys can see it, I love little tiny blending brushes like this. I don't have a lot of lid space, so when I want to do a colorful look, these brushes become like staples. So I am really loving the JS12. There's a few really good ones. Some I don't use much, like there's the JS6 I don't really use, but a lot of the smaller ones I am really into. I probably wouldn't have gone and bought the whole set again. I just bought duplicates of like this one and the other one that's a little bit smaller. But I wouldn't say go buy the entire set because like these two brushes I've gotten like no use out of. But these ones I am loving. Like I have duplicates. I will probably pick up more because they're just so much easier. And I don't want to get really pigment and shadows on my nice like Sonia G brushes or my Wayne Goss brushes. I reserve it for brushes that are affordable. Because I know I'm gonna have to clean them right after as well. Obviously I haven't yet. Okay, don't judge me. But yeah, some of them are great. Some of them I'm not so in love with. But the little tiny blending brushes, I would just purchase them individually. But yeah, the actual palette, which I got a lot of remarks saying like, well, you knew it was Morphe quality. Why would you expect it to be better? Blah 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 blah. But it's like most of the collabs that have come out with. I mean, the James Charles palette, not as much. Like the pigments were good, the mattes were good, same thing in the Jeffree Star Morphe palette, but the shimmers were lacking. But like some of their collabs with different people, like the Jaclyn Hill palette, totally different formula. Like, so for me, I think that's what I was expecting with Jeffree Star, is I expected better quality in the Morphe line, if that makes sense. Like I just thought it would be a kicked up quality rather than just the same quality and putting his name on it. So hopefully I don't get murdered in this video in the comment section because I wanted to give like my fair thoughts on products. And then as well, I did return my Natasha Denona Coral palette. If you guys saw that review, I did exchange that and got the Metropolis palette because it was way too similar to things I already have. Most of the stuff I do already have videos on, so feel free to check out any of those if you are wanting more in-depth reviews. This was just kind of like I don't know how rapid it is, I talk a lot. But these are just my things that I wanted to go over, things that I still felt the same about, and yeah, just my honest thoughts on these. So let me know if you guys have tried any of these products, what your thoughts were. If there was something that disappointed you this month, I also want to know. And yeah, that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.